Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. My name's Amista, and I am just here to catch up with some people that I know and meet some new people and all of that good kind of stuff. So let's see. Let's get some cards cleared so that we can answer some questions. Let's start with that. There she is. Yay. Glad to see you in here. Thank you for your patience and for dealing with the technical difficulties. Was that you texting me, or is that somebody else? That's somebody else. Okay. How have you been doing? Cheryl Ford, hello, hello. Happy New Year. That's right. Happy New Year to both of y'all. How are you doing today, Miss Cheryl? We're just clearing cards. After we clear cards, we'll do Reiki for about 5 minutes, little micro session. You guys be thinking about what you want to use your Reiki for. And then after that, we'll do a little bit of manifestation advice on the tarot cards. Just general for everybody in the room and everybody who stumbles across the video later. And then after that, we'll start doing some more personal stuff. I'm glad to hear that you are great. I am fantastic, my friend. What a great new year, right? I'm so glad we made it through 2025. I hope 2026 has some wonderful surprises for us. I'm ready for some wonderful surprises. All right, let's start some Reiki. I'm going to do a sip real quick. Eagle Money, haven't seen you in a while, honey bunny. Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. Okay, let's do about 5 minutes worth of Reiki. Everybody think about what you want the Reiki to work for you on. If you don't have something specific in your mind, then I'm just going to set the intention for whatever is for your highest and best good. We'll be finishing up at 2 after the hour for the Reiki. Oh, we have people pulling Reiki on both ends of the spectrum here. I've got some serious energy going into somebody's crown chakra, which has to do with our relationship with the divine. And also some Reiki going into somebody's feet. So there could actually be physical issues in either one of these places, but also spiritually, feet are significant about following our path, finding our path, and following our path, following our purpose. Bindi, hello, hello, welcome. We're doing Reiki right now, honey bunny, for about 4 more minutes. What do you want the Reiki to work on for you? If anybody has questions about Reiki, this is also a great time to ask those questions. All right. Then you just set the intention right there, honey bunny. Where are you dealing with arthritis? Where in the body? Left knee especially. I don't know if it's all of y'all combined or if somebody out there, somebody's pulling some major energy because I feel it just throbbing as it's coming out of my hands. Like somebody's just being a Reiki sponge, soaking it all up. I shouldn't say soaking it all up because everybody else is getting Reiki too, but it's nice when I can feel it going out that strong to somebody because that tells me somebody's really getting some benefit from it. We have 1 more minute. We've got someone pulling a whole lot of Reiki into their solar plexus. Solar plexus is how you express yourself in the world. What kind of jobs do you do? What kind of cars do you drive? What does your handwriting look like? What kind of tone of voice do you use when you're talking to people? All of that stuff, plus lots and lots more, is in there. So somebody is getting more balanced about how they express themselves in the world. Sometimes we can be really suppressed and we don't express ourselves in the world. Sometimes we can be loud. And it might generally put people off, so that might have to come into balance too. More often, though, I think I see people suppressing themselves. All right, so that's 5 minutes. Let me see why my phone is blowing up and make sure we don't have anything really important going on here. There's something really important. Someone's bringing a little dinner by lately and they want to know if I want diet soda. No diet soda for me. Let's see. All right, that's the only important thing. Let's have some fun. Okay, so this is going to be manifestation advice for over the next 24 hours. And then after that, we'll start taking requests for people who want to make requests. Requests. I have a hard time saying that word and making it sound right. Requests. It's a STS at the end. Requests. Feel like a snake. All right, best manifestation advice. Everybody think about what you want to manifest within the next 24 hours. This is our best manifestation advice for whatever that is. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? A little bit glary and blurry. All right. So we have the 2 of Wands in reverse, the Star in reverse, and the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, Jupiter must be on the move. It's kicking in. I know it's moving sometime. Let's see. I just did a breakdown because I did a prediction, an astrological prediction yesterday for somebody about all the changes going to happen this year for them, and Jupiter showed up. It doesn't move to Leo till 6:30. Retrogrades when it's actually retrograde right now in Cancer. And then it doesn't retrograde again until next December. All right. Just wanted to check that. So 2 of Wands basically talks about this idea that there are choices in front of us. We may not feel like we have a choice with whatever's in front of us. We may feel like because certain people want us to do whatever, that the choice, they're really making the choice for us. So best advice here on this card is step back, actually make the choice for yourself. What would you like to do if it was really solely up to you? And then decide, is this the way I want to go? Or is it more important to me to make sure other people are happy too? And some people, that's going to be the answer. That's going to be the way to go, just whatever other people say. But if you know that you have the choice, that I think that makes it a little easier. You're a little bit more empowered rather than just letting other people steer you. You get to decide, am I going to let them put their hand on my steering wheel or not? And if you're willing and that's okay with you, then that's cool, but you got to make the choice. So that's the thing here. It's really all about just self-empowerment. You get to make the choice about who you let influence you, and if you really want to go in the direction they're influencing you, or if you would rather go a different direction. And if these people who are trying to influence you really want your happiness, and they see that you want to go a different direction, then they're going to be happy with you to move in that direction. If it's not all about happiness, they might kick and fight a little bit. So it tells you a lot about them if you want to do something that they don't really want you to do, depending how they respond to it. Of course, assuming you're not wanting to do something illegal or harmful or something like that. Now, Star card in reverse. Yeah, this tells me, this kind of emphasizes for me that this choice where other people have predetermined what you're going to choose, it makes you feel a little bit hopeless. I don't think you would necessarily choose this thing if you were left to your own devices. Makes you feel a little bit trapped and locked in. Kind of like how, like, right after you get on a roller coaster and they come down with the bars or the cages or whatever they're putting over you. Like, I think of the one like the Batman, in St. Louis where they come over you with the shoulder straps that come way down. Once those come down and lock in, you are along for the ride, and you know you're locked in. You're safe for that ride. But what if you don't want that roller coaster ride? And now you're feeling kind of locked in. That's not a very good feeling. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. Like, if you don't do that empowerment step for yourself, that's going to have you feeling pretty locked in. And this advice really is not to make a move. Like, hold on, hold your horses. This is my, I want to say Grinch, but that's not the word I'm looking for. This is my miser card. A lot of people call this the miser card, where this guy is holding on to all of his assets. He's got his feet on some. He's got one covering his heart. He's got one on his crown. Like, all of his assets are just kind of actually like blocking any flow. But in this case, it's basically saying, don't just get sucked in just because. Don't let the shoulder straps lock you in. Hold on before you make any moves forward. Buy yourself some time so that you can think this through and maybe find a way to talk to these other people that have these preconceived concepts about what they want you to do. Okay? Don't go along just to get along, is basically what that's saying. All right. Anybody in the room that would like a message from Spirit or would like a question answered? Cheryl Ford, she already had that message in there. She was just waiting to hit enter. I'm just teasing you, Cheryl. That's the way a lot of people are, actually. So we're going to start with Cheryl. La 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 da la da 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 for Dee Dee. Okay. Anybody else wants a message or has a question, feel free to go ahead and put it in the chat. Oh, Eagle Money. Eagle Money, remind me of your first name. I want to say you're Melissa or Alyssa, but I could be totally off. Ah, okay. Awesome. Look at that. I actually remembered a name correctly. Got to appreciate those things when they happen. Fantastic. Okay, so starting off with Cheryl, message from Spirit for Cheryl. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have for Cheryl? What would you like to talk to Miss Cheryl about today, please? Let's see, Nine of Pentacles and the Chariot, both in reverse. Oh, are you missing your car? Oh, is your car in the shop? Nine of Pentacles in reverse can talk about one or two things. It talks about feeling like I need more resources or missing a person. And the Chariot can talk about some kind of transportation. So this can be that, like, maybe a trip got canceled and you're like bummed about it. Or maybe your car is in the shop and you wish you had it. But this is something about missing your car or missing some kind of trip or transportation is what this is. Wishing that you had more access to transportation or to a trip. Okay, well, something's up. Let's see what else. Remember, this can be past, present, or future, so we could be talking about a situation that happened in the past, too. That maybe Spirit just wants to give you a little different perspective on it. Okay, so let's look at best advice or heads up around the situation. Oh, not so sure I like this advice. Okay, so this is talking about that there's some kind of shakeup that has to do with this trip or this transportation, whatever this is. So some kind of shakeup. With the Hermit card, this talks about there's something about this shakeup that allows you to come out of being in recluse mode and allows you to come out and interact with the world more. And with the King of Swords, this basically says, just handle this whole situation logically. The King of Swords is the master of logic. He's the master of strategy and of planning and following through. This guy can set a goal and follow the goal all the way to the end. Excuse me. So, this could be talking about something that happened in the past, or I'm kind of scared to say, maybe it's something that hasn't happened yet, and Spirit's just trying to say, you've got this, whatever this is that shows up. Just think calmly all the way through it, whatever this would happen to be. But it definitely has to do with some kind of trip or some kind of travel or some type of transportation vehicle. Now, here's the other thing. I could be totally wackadoo. So if I'm totally wackadoo, then if 2 days have gone by and nothing's going on with a trip or transportation or a vehicle, then just be like, okay, well, Amista's wackadoo. But if something does come up, the most important thing to remember is stay calm, stay logical. Think your way through the situation. Don't let emotions take the steering wheel. No pun intended. Okay, let's see. We just had all kinds of cards fly. I was thinking of Dee Dee. I was thinking, who's next? So Dee Dee, that just tells me you've got some energy moving around and shifting around. There's changes happening in your life. To have that many cards come out all at one time just to like flop out like that, which that was way too many, by the way. So we're going to keep on shuffling and see where we land. Okay, here we go. Message from Spirit for Ms. Dee Dee. All right, so we've got the Five of Pentacles and we've got the Ace of Wands. I like those. Those are both actually pretty good cards. Interesting. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles is an interesting card because it talks about this idea of feeling like, well, I wish I had more resources if it's right side up, but when it's upside down, it says, oh, I've got a little bit of breathing space in my resources now, in my budget now. Or this can be about feeling a little bit, when it's right side up, it could be about feeling a little bit like outside the clique or outside the network, outside the social group. But once again, when it's right side up, it says, oh, I'm really enjoying my social life right now, or I'm really enjoying the people around me. I don't feel like I'm a wallflower or like I'm an outsider. So having this card come in right side up is really nice because it talks about either breathing room in the budget or feeling more included socially, and sometimes both. Sometimes having that breathing room in the budget allows us to go to more events where people are. So sometimes it works together. Not always, but sometimes. Now we have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands talks about in something that's inspiring. So there's something going on here where life is getting better, either socially or financially, because of some kind of inspired idea that you had. Maybe this idea came out of meditation. Maybe this idea came out of a little kid's mouth. And you just went, oh my gosh, why didn't I think about it? But there's some kind of inspired idea. Maybe it came from a coach or a mentor. Some kind of inspired idea that puts you in a place where you're feeling better socially or financially, one or the other. Okay? Now let's look at your heads up or your advice around this. We have our Nine of Cups coming up in reverse. Nine of Cups in reverse talks about this idea of feeling antsy and just kind of revved up. There's more that you want to offer the world, but maybe you're not seeing the opportunity about how to offer that more to the world. Okay, so this is like, I don't think you have a job anymore, but this is energy that would be similar to, here I am working in accounting, but I think I would be so much better at creating ads. I really wish they would let me do some ads and some promotional work. That would be this kind of energy. Like I would be so much better utilized there. All right, so properlyhood. Hello, hello, welcome. You are not too late. But let's see. Right now we're reading for Dee Dee though. So this just talks about this idea of being antsy to offer more to the world. Okay. Now, Four of Swords basically says, step back, get some objectivity here. Look at this situation from an objective way. Take a break. This is not like going and doing things to make things happen. This is literally stepping back to think about things. Take a break, sort of regroup. You will come back, but this is stopping to regroup. And then we have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups, when it's right side up, talks about disappointment. When it's in reverse, talks about forgiveness, or it talks about getting past some kind of disappointment. So it could be that maybe you made some mistakes in the past that caused whatever this is here, whether it's financial or social. You could have made some mistakes in the past that you kind of have to let yourself off the hook from. You might have to say to yourself, you know what, I was doing the best I could with the toolkit that I had at that time. It is what it is. Live and learn. But I think what's going on here is with this antsiness to being offering more to the world, that's really the inspired idea that gets you into a better space, probably both socially and financially. But the thing is, that antsiness, you want to step back and be logical about what's going on here and what you can really offer, what's feasible, what's doable. And then once you do that, that is what, excuse me, that's what actually allows you to bring some kind of healing and forgiveness to the way things went in the past, so that now you can just burst forth in all your glory and let the world see all the things that you have to offer it, so that they can choose what would they like. I hope that makes sense for you, Dee Dee. Happy New Year, Angelique. All right, so that was for Dee Dee. Next up is, let's see, Eagle Money. Land. Do you have a question, Angelique, or you just want a message from Spirit? Awesome, you're quite welcome. Quite welcome. So we've had the two spreads so far that have basically said, think, be logical, be objective. 2 out of 2. We've got a trend. We've got a trend. Okay, Melissa. Let's see what we have. What would you like to talk to Miss Melissa about today, please? Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ba-ba-da-da-da. And for those of you who don't know, I do like to use first names to connect whenever I do my readings. That's why I have you guys share those with me. It's a little less anonymous than the web usually is, but it helps. I think it helps. Maybe it's all in my mind. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that, guys. Debbie Hancock, hello, hello, Happy New Year. Okay, so Melissa, let's look at your cards since we've got them on the table, right? All right, so we have the Three of Cups coming up in reverse, plus the Eight of Swords in reverse. Boo, ba-da-dee, ooh. Ooh, that's kind of strong. It's kind of strong. Put on your hard hat and your safety belt, Melissa. Three of Cups talks about somebody getting on your last nerve, just jumping up and down on it. And that Eight of Swords in reverse, to me, that's my breakaway card. So this tells me that you have broken away from somebody who's jumping up and down on your last nerve, whether it's a family member or a friend, whatever. You've, I don't know if you've exactly broken up with them, but you've definitely made some space between you and them. You've broken away from them, so you're not in the same location with them at the same time, for sure, if you haven't just said, you know what, I don't want to see you again. Maybe you said it more nicely than me. Maybe not. I don't know. And maybe, like I said, maybe you're just in a different room from them. You just need some space. I don't know. But let's look at your best advice or heads up. Knight of Cups. This talks about really doing something to pamper yourself now, to rejuvenate yourself after whatever happened with them jumping up and down on your last nerve. This Two of Pentacles basically says you have a lot of different ways to pamper yourself, and this is kind of a recommendation of don't really hold back. Don't really hold back. The Two of Pentacles is juggling. You know, there's a lot, but he's keeping all those balls in the air. So this is saying whatever it is you're doing to pamper yourself, go for it. All right. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. This basically says whoever this is that's getting up on your last nerve here, that you are breaking away from, I think you've been really generous to this person. Whether you've been generous to them with money or you've been generous to them with time, energy, effort, whatever this is that you've been really generous to them about, this card is saying it's time to realize that that generosity is not moving anything forward. They're just becoming more dependent on you rather than actually getting their own legs under them. So this card is saying it's time to recognize that maybe it's time to cut that generosity off and allow you to rejuvenate yourself here. And maybe that's exactly what's getting on your nerves about these people, is that you've been trying to help them, but it seems like the more you help them, the more dependent they get on you rather than the more they get on their own 2 feet. All right, so that's what we've got, honey bunny. I hope that makes sense for you. A message for Angelique. Okay. And then Debbie Hancock. Happy New Year. Did I not say that before? Happy New Year. I know I said hello to you. Hello there, Avani. Welcome, welcome. Happy New Year, my friend. You're quite welcome. Does that make sense for you? You guys, inquiring minds always want to know the story behind the spread. If you feel like sharing it. All right, so let's see. La da 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 da. How long have I been here? Not even sure. I'm just checking to see time frames, if that's reasonable or not. How long? Used to be I could see. I'm missing something somewhere. Oh, because I've got it below the surface. Okay, yeah, I'm still going to be here another half an hour. I imagine we can add you to the list too. Okay, so if you have a question, Avneet, put that in there. If you want a message from Spirit, just say message from Spirit. Contenture Yernio? I don't know what that is. Maria. Absolutely, you can be added. Do you have a question for me, Maria, or do you want a message from Spirit? Okay, so Maria wants to know, when will she find a, did you say new job? Yeah. Are you working right now, Maria? Are you looking for a replacement job? Boo-ba-da-doo, LP. We did some Reiki, so you may want to scroll back to the beginning of this recording whenever you can and pick up some of that Reiki. What do you want to use Reiki for today? And LP. LP, remind me what your first name is. I think I should know it, but I don't remember it. Okay, so Avneet has a question. Okay, and Debbie wants a message. Guys, don't forget to share this video, please. Mental health leaf. I knew you told me that before. Okay. Let's see. Seems like I heard that name in the news somewhere lately, or on a video lately too. Let's see. Boop-a-da-doo-doo, boop-a-da-doo. Why? Why are you feeling down and anxious? Do you have a thing that is making you feel that way? Or is it a great mystery? And you want a message about love? Regarding love, love, love. Bit of a mystery. Lack of sleep will do it, honey bunny. Lack of sleep definitely will do that. Tell you what, if I gave you Reiki, you would definitely fall asleep if you're feeling like that. Let's see. What should Avneet expect from her love life? We're going to say over the next 3 months, because you know I like a time frame. Ba, 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 ba. And you guys, if you want to book a reading with me, you can use the website listed right there to find out how to do that. I also offer Reiki services there. Leith, if you wanted to book a Reiki session, that would be where you would go to do that. Let's see. Angelique, message from Spirit. Boo-ba-da-doo-doo, boo-ba-da-doo, boo-ba-da-doo-doo, boo-ba-da-doo. I do a lot of Reiki long distance. So you don't have to be in the same room with me for me to do Reiki for you. Angelique. Angelique. Man, why is my phone blowing up? Excuse me. I just want to make sure I don't miss anything important, but nothing important is happening. Just people are going crazy. Going crazy. Okay, message from Spirit. Angelique, Ooh, look at you. I love what you have. So 10 of Cups is my happiness card, and this is happiness that's not only for you, but also happiness for your sphere of influence, maybe happiness for you and your kids in this case. 5 of Wands in reverse talks about happiness, having some peaceful, non-strifeful time, like really focusing on creating happiness. What do we have for best advice around this? Knight of Swords in reverse. Okay, so you've got somebody who is talking silliness, all right? With that Knight of Swords, the Knight is not as mature as the King, right? So the Knight doesn't have as much experience as the King does when we look at the court cards. So this may or may not have anything to do with age at all. I've seen people in their 80s be really immature and show up in the court cards as a knight like this, okay? But this could also be like maybe one of your kids. But the Knight of Swords in reverse talks about somebody who is not making very good decisions about the things that they are saying, the things coming out of their mouth. So they may be saying some really ridiculous stuff. So one example of a Knight of Swords in reverse would be I had a stepchild at one point. Well, actually had 8 of them at that point. But I had one that was getting close to meltdown, and I could tell it. And so I threw him in the car, took him to the park, gave him some time away from the rest of the house that was all crazy and excited and just, was overstimulating him basically, and gave him some time to just chill, which I thought was helpful. And then he got in the car with me. We're driving back home, and he rolls down the window and he yells, "Kidnapping! Kidnapper! She's kidnapping me!" at the top of his lungs as we're driving through a residential area to get back home. That's this guy. That's the Knight of Swords. He's saying some crazy things are coming out of his mouth that are not good. They're not helpful. We wish they wouldn't say those things, right? Because they're not mature enough. In his case, he wasn't mature enough to realize how serious that could have been if somebody would have taken that seriously. Right? So, 2 of Cups talks about that this is somebody that, is important to you, is very special to you. It could potentially be somebody that you're attracted to in maybe a romantic way, or maybe even not a romantic way. Maybe you could be thinking, maybe this is somebody like from your class, and you could be thinking, wow, this person really has their stuff together. I'm drawn to that. I would like to practice with them or study with them or whatever. Okay, so I don't know who this is exactly, but I'm going to say it's someone within your tribe. So somebody within your family or your closer friends that you consider family. That is just like, they're saying things that are not the smartest things to say. But you're really attracted to this person or drawn to this person. There are some feelings here, is a good way to say that with the 2 of Cups. With the 8 of Cups, here's your best advice, is to walk back to the situation. And this really implies something first, too. This implies walking away from the situation. You can't walk back to something you haven't walked away from. Okay? So you're really trying to focus on happiness in the household or in the tribe, and you're having to really focus because there's some distractions that are trying to distract you away from happiness. Well, this talks about the distraction, and maybe it's more than one person, but you've got somebody saying some really jacked up stuff, right? That would distract from happiness, definitely, but it's somebody that you care about a lot, so you can't just go, get out on the sidewalk. Don't come back. You can't say that to them because this is someone you care about. So this says take some time away and then come back to the situation. And what I'm hearing is when I said take some time away and breathe and then come back to the situation so that you can create that love and that happiness in the household. I hope that makes sense for you. Whoops, don't do that. All right, so that was Angelique. Is this all crazy stuff? Yes. All right. Now, Maria wants to know when she will find a new job. Maria, are you still in the room? Maria. I don't know if she ever answered my questions about if she's still working or not, actually. Where did she go? Yeah, she never answered that. I'm not so sure she's still in the room. Boo-ba-da-doo, boo-ba-da-doo. Maria, say hi if you're in the room, honey bunny. Meanwhile, I'm moving on to... Oh, she is. Okay. Not working currently. All right. So when will Maria find her new job? Will that happen by April 1st? Will that happen by April 1st? There's payday. Page of Pentacles, the Sun, Seven of Wands. I don't think you're going to find a new job by April 1st, but I do think you're obviously getting paid with that payday card, and you've got somebody saying, hey, here's an opportunity. You may be doing some side work or some gig work with the Sun card. This talks about really happiness. I don't think that you're going to be really so sad that you don't have a job. Seven of Wands talks about you really holding your own as far as what you are doing to make an income. This is not something that is going to help you create long-term stability or, something that you could pass on to your kids in an inheritance, but it's definitely going to get you through until the job comes. But I don't think the job is coming by April the 1st. Let's look. What about April, May, June? Let's look at July 1st. Will Maria be starting her new job by? Will she have a new job by July 1st? I think you're going to be in some kind of temporary position by July 1st. I don't think you'll be hired on as permanent, but I do think you're going to be like in some kind of probationary situation by the time we get to July 1st. The Sun is a good one. Yes, April 1st is April Fool's Day. Doesn't matter though when we're doing a time frame. I actually dated a guy who was born April 1st, which is an Aries. It was very appropriate. So now we're doing Avneet. What to expect from Avneet's love life. What should Avneet expect from her love life over the next 3 months, please? You're quite welcome, Maria. He was kind of a fool. He was kind of a fool. Excuse me. Hello there, dude. 1375. I just came up with an astrology reading last night, but I don't have it advertised on my website. If you want to know what's coming in the next year and what's going to be changing, then I would say reach out to me. Go to my website, get my phone number, reach out to me, text me, call me, whatever, and I'll give you payment information for that and set up a time to look at your chart for you and then get the information out to you. And that'll tell you about all the changes happening in the next year, astrologically. La da 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 da. As far as in this room, as far as a free tarot thing, I do specific questions, not something really open-ended like what's coming in the next year. Okay. So if you want to ask me something more specific here in the room for no charge, then you just have to come up with a more specific question. Okay, next 3 months, love life for Avneet. Avneet, I hope you're still in the room. Avneet, love life for the next 3 months. Ba-ba-da-da-da. Four of Swords. Ooh, you're taking a break from love life. You're like, I'm kind of bored with y'all. Leave me alone. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. You're like, you know what? You guys aren't paying the bills. I'm going to focus on my bills. Two of Wands in reverse. The Star card. Oh, now that's interesting. All right. So me and Avneet have known each other for years and years and years, guys. So here, seriously, Four of Swords, you're taking a break. You're looking at your love life objectively, not necessarily dating anybody while you're doing that. Seven of Pentacles, seriously, you're like, you know what? You guys aren't bringing the payday in. In fact, if anything, you're distracting me from the paydays. I just don't have time for that silliness. Nay, nay. All right. Two of Wands is interesting because when it shows up, this tells me, I don't know if this is your mom or who this is, but somebody is kind of putting the pressure on you. Hey, how come you're not dating? Blah, 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 blah. You know, because you're not living life the way that they want you to live life. I always think that's interesting how other people want to decide when we should be dating and when we shouldn't, huh? Now, we have the Star card. This talks about things getting more hopeful once we get into that third month from now. So we're talking in beginning of March-ish. And then by the end of March, we have this is the Seven of Swords. And this talks about the idea of kind of cleaning things up is how I'm taking this. And you can see they're kind of walking around in the battlefield. He's got a bunch of swords. Nobody's going to use more than two swords. We've got two hands. What are we going to do? Fight with our hands and our feet? So he's kind of gathering things up. He's cleaning things up. So I think this is kind of cleaning the act up. This is, you're kind of hopeful. Here, I think you're really focusing on what do I want from a relationship? What am I willing to put in? This is not the time where you're going to be like, oh, you know, I've got all these great, interesting guys around and I'm just having fun with all of them. This is where you're kind of cleaning the act up and you're going, listen. And I think that part of what's impacting this is this idea, hey, you guys ain't paying the bills. You're distracting me. I think that's part of what's impacting this. Now you're starting to think a little bit more seriously about things like, what do I really want? Because I don't want to waste my time on distractions. I want to start investing my time into something that may perhaps last. So when this hope card comes in, this is when we see you sort of, I don't really want to say cleaning up your act, but cleaning up your thoughts around love life and getting more specific about what it is that you actually want. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Abby. Yeah, I did not even advertise the astrology reading. In fact, somebody texted me the other day and they were like, well, I hope 2026 is better. And I was like, well, you know what? I could actually do an astrological reading, seeing what changes for you. And it would be $50. And they were like, oh, yeah. And I was just like, you know, it was just a thought. I wasn't expecting it to go anywhere. So I still have like all my notes written down about everything that I am looking at for those readings. Is like this page and this whole page is all the stuff that I'm looking at over the year. And for $50, I think that's a pretty good deal. That ended up taking me an hour to put that together. And then it ended up taking me another hour to put her reading together. Let's see. Nice specific question. Will I move into a better place in 2026? What is your first name, honey? With the Two of Wands in the Star card, no. That Two of Wands is somebody trying to push you into dating before you're ready. The Star card is where things get like, oh, maybe this guy might have some potential. And then we see you kind of cleaning things up around what you really want. So I don't know that that's somebody serious. That's somebody that gets you to start thinking about, what do I really want? Because this ain't it. That's how I would look at that. That's what I would expect. Okay. Thank you, Dominique. All right. I did start the new year with a new service. Okay. Now let's look. That was Avneet. Next, we're on to Debbie. Debbie, are you in the room? Message from Spirit for you. Everybody, don't forget to share this video out. The more people I get to help, the happier I am. La da 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 da, la da 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 da. Okay, Debbie's still here. Message from Spirit for Ms. Debbie Hancock. Ba ba da ba 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 da 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 ba ba da 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 da. Dominique, I haven't answered your question yet, honey. That might be why you're confused if you thought I was answering your question, because I haven't gotten to you yet. You're quite welcome, Avneet. Have a great day. Great night. Have a great new year. It's New Year's Day. Did anybody eat black-eyed peas and cornbread today? That's what you're supposed to eat to bring in good luck for the year, which I forgot to buy my black-eyed peas for New Year's Day. And I'm renting my car out to somebody right now, so I am not. But I did think about it today. Debbie Hancock. Ooh, nice card. What? Debbie. Wow. 3 out of 5 of your cards are major arcanas, and they all kick booty. Everything you have here kicks booty. This is awesome. Okay, Debbie, look at you. First of all, you've got the High Priestess and you've got the Emperor. Bang! Right there. How do you like that? Now, if this was the Empress and the Emperor, that would be a perfect match. High Priestess is an Emperor. That's a power couple right there, man. That is a power couple. We've got the spiritual and we've got the tangible working well together. I love it. Okay, so let's get a little bit more serious and actually interpret these cards instead of just being wowed by them, because wow. Oh, and the Chariot is also very wow, by the way, just so you know. So, High Priestess, and you've got an Emperor basically covering the High Priestess card. This basically says, I think that you're giving advice to somebody who's fairly powerful, maybe really powerful, but definitely has a certain amount of power in the world. With the Emperor, that's somebody who's a leader. With the High Priestess, you may be giving this person insights or advice. This could be a client, or this could be, maybe your husband is kind of a powerful person and you are giving him advice on how to use his influence in a positive way, hopefully in a positive way, how to use his influence. Or this could be somebody else in your life, but you're giving them insights. And this is interesting. So this makes me think of, this is the kind of energy I'm talking about. I used to work in Cloth World before it got bought by Joanne Fabrics, which I think now has been bought by Michaels, but that tells you how long ago I worked at Cloth World, a long time. When I was working there, my manager at the time, his name was Mr. Tomberlin, and I'm sure he's not alive anymore because he was already getting up there by then. Mr. Tomberlin was an interesting character. He was a pretty good manager of the store as far as the numbers, the product, keeping the shelves stocked, yada, yada, yada. His people skills were like, I don't know how he ever got made a manager because his people skills were horrible. And he got to where, I don't even know why, but he got to where, oh, I do know why, because one day I just, everybody else felt really bullied by him, and I just was not intimidated. I was ex-Air Force. I have 6 little brothers. How is a guy going to intimidate me, really? So I wasn't intimidated by him, and the whole store was up in a ruckus over something that happened. And I said to him, Mr. Tomberlin, can I talk to you? And we went back to the office, and I said, whenever you did this, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. I went through the whole chain. I talked about the different people who were impacted. And he said, well, what do you think I should do about it? And I said, well, you're going to have to go back to the start of the problem, and you're going to have to apologize or get this on track some way. And so after that, he started coming to me for advice about different things that were going on in the store. And usually they were going on in the store because his people skills were so bad. And so this is what this reminds me about. I don't know that this guy's people skills are bad. Probably not with him being an emperor, but he's definitely got a leadership position. And you have probably been the person that stood up to him when not a lot of people would. And now he's coming to you and saying, hey, what do you think about this situation? Okay. Dominique, I did not answer your question yet. Remember, I just said I did not answer your question yet. That's, if you're confused, it's because you think I answered your question. Right now, honey, you're on the list. See this list? I've done these people so far. I'm working on Debbie next. And right now, after that is Leith. After that is you, Dominique, right at the bottom of this list. I have not answered your question yet. Okay? Let's see. No, you'll know when it's your turn because I will tell you for sure. I'll ask you if you're still in the room. So, and I'm not trying to be like mean. I probably came across meaner than I meant to be. I'm just trying to say, like, I didn't answer your question. I don't know what you want from me. I didn't answer your question. All right, so let's get back on to, who is this? This is Debbie's. This is Debbie's amazing reading here. So your best advice or insight on this situation, Miss Debbie, is this. With the Chariot, I keep wanting to hold it up, but then I remember I'm little in this picture now. So best advice is the Chariot. The Chariot talks about working together really well. The Chariot talks about people coming together with a common goal and moving forward successfully. So I think you're working together with this person really well. This can talk about a successful marriage, although it doesn't have to be a successful marriage. But the bottom line is it's more than one person working together towards a common goal and doing quite well, being very successful with it. So whatever this is that you're advising this person, you're giving them solid advice, and apparently they're following it and it's going well. Now, the Nine of Pentacles is interesting because the Nine of Pentacles talks about doing something independently, self-sufficiently. So maybe you're not actually a couple at all. Maybe this is somebody who is actually paying you for this advice. And so this is a nice little extra coins in the wallet, so to speak, because your advice is paying off for this person and they're able to move forward productively with your advice and your help. With the Knight of Wands, this is talking about this idea of moving forward with something that makes you feel inspired and happy. Maybe this is the first person that ever paid you for your services, and now you're seeing how well it's turning out. You may be thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to do this, like offer these services to more people, whatever they are. But they have to do with giving advice. So consulting, whether it's spiritual consulting like readings, which it certainly could be with a High Priestess, or the High Priestess also is somebody who just knows the inner workings of something. She knows the secret things that not everybody else would know. You may be an insider in some type of industry, and so you may be giving somebody advice on that industry, and you may be thinking, well, that's working out really well. That person is happy to pay me really well for that advice, maybe even. And I could actually offer this advice to other people as well. So that's what I see there for you, for Ms. Debbie. Ba, 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 ba. But Knight of Wands is taking action, and it's inspired action, and it has to do with that idea that you're giving somebody advice. You're quite welcome. It is wonderful. Do you know who you're giving advice to? Who am I talking about there? Who are you advising? I love it. Ba, 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 ba. That can be anybody from a husband to an old business associate to whatever. Okay, so Leith, what did we have? Oh, you want a message regarding love. What does Leith need to know about love right now? Glad you're still here. Thank you, thank you. What does Leith need to know about love right now? Oh, it's a love relationship. Gotcha. Well, then it's going very well. That's really weird with the independent No. Okay, now I'm rethinking your spread now that I've got context. Sorry, Leith, you're going to have to give me a second here. Then why would you have the Nine of Pentacles after that? Things are going well. Oh. Is this more of like a open relationship? Or a relationship where you guys are open to one or the other of you is open to interacting with other people? Like, and that's a legit thing in this relationship with that Chariot, because this relationship's going really well. So I don't think there's anything deceptive happening here. That's interesting. Do you guys spend a lot of time independent from each other? Like, do you live in one place and he lives in another place? That makes sense. Okay, that's it. So you get plenty of you time, he gets plenty of his time, plus you guys make a really great couple. And with the way those cards came up, this could say that you guys having your own independent time actually benefits the relationship, makes the relationship stronger. Especially with that Knight of Wands there, because that means when you come back together again, then you can be all passionate. Yep. Well, even if it's for right now, this is actually helping the relationship. This is strengthening it. All right, so what does Leith need to know about love right now? What's best advice for Leith when it comes to love? Best advice for Leith when it comes to love. Love, love, love. All you need is love. You're quite welcome. Ba-ba-da-da, ba-ba-da-da. Am I reading this right? Just to double check. Am I reading this right? Oh, hell yeah. I am reading this right. Okay. All right, Leith. We don't care about reversals. They don't really. Some people say reversals are all bad. Some reversals are actually good. So we don't care about that. I just want to make sure I give you accurate advice here. So that's why I wanted to just double check things. So your advice here, you've got a Page of Pentacles in reverse. This basically is a page is a messenger, right? And pentacles have to do with our energy, our efforts, also has to do with our finances. But big picture, this is energy, one way or the other. Finances is only one representation of energy. A lot of people think pentacles are only about money. That's not true. So when we're looking at love, a Page of Pentacles that's in reverse says, basically, it says the first bit of your advice is don't tell somebody that you're going to put energy and effort into a relationship. Okay? So if somebody's saying, hey, do you want to be in a relationship? Nope, I don't. Or if you're thinking somebody's expecting you to ask them to be in a relationship with you, don't do it, man. Don't do it. All right? I don't know exactly what your context is, but this says, don't be saying you're going to be putting energy and effort into a relationship. That's not a good idea right now. Five of Pentacles talks to me about like loneliness, feeling left out. Okay? So when we've got this loneliness, this is telling me that I think you're thinking about saying, let's be in a relationship because then you won't be lonely. But this is saying, don't do it. Face the loneliness. Get comfortable with that loneliness. Dig into that loneliness and do the self-work it takes for you to really appreciate being with yourself. Okay? And Ace of Swords in reverse says, pass this message along. So, In other words, not only don't say that you're going to get involved with somebody in a relationship just because you're lonely. Actually say, no, I'm not doing this. Be very clear about it. Don't leave somebody hanging wondering where you are. Just be very clear about the idea. I'm not moving forward in a relationship right now. Okay? Yeah, I don't think that whoever you're meeting, whoever's around, and whoever's on the apps, this is not the time. These cards definitely say it's not the time. Now, these are the cards that I pulled up when I said, am I interpreting this correctly? And look what I have. Look what I have. First of all, you have the Lovers in reverse, which talks about being in a partnership that's not working. You're not on the same page. Why? Because you've got somebody who's a narcissist showing up in your space. This is making a decision, Nine of Cups, to find your own satisfaction, your own fulfillment. The Empress in reverse basically says that even though you're stepping out, like I see what you're saying when you're saying you're getting on the apps after 2 years, this tells me why you should be saying no to anybody that shows up, because right now you still have in your mind some fears. Maybe you had a bad experience with a narcissistic type person before. You've got some fears about what these other people are like. Whether you're dating men or women doesn't matter, but you have some fears that, well, what if the next one is like that one? And you're actually creating that because you're focusing on what you're anxious about or what you're fearful about rather than what you're hopeful for. And so it's not the right time. Your headspace isn't correct. Right now, the only people you're going to draw in are people like the last jackass. And so don't do it, man. Get your headspace right first. This is not the time to do that. You want to give yourself until you know that you're actually expecting something good rather than expecting a repeat of the same old crap. Just don't do it. Does that make sense for you, honey? Okay, Dominique wants to know if she's going to move into a better place in 2026. You're quite welcome. Dominique. Will Dominique move into a better place in 2026? So see, now you know I'm reading for you because you hear your name. I'm glad you're in the room. Thanks for letting me know. Dominique. Will Dominique move into a better place in 2026? Boop-a-da-doo-doo, boop-a-da-doo. What's happening here? Tell me about this 5 of Cups. What's that about? Excuse me. Okay, you've got a journey going on. You definitely have a journey going on. Are you actually moving, though? I think you are moving, okay? I think that you are moving. There are some things to know about this, okay, Dominique? So, first of all, we've got the 7 of Pentacles. This talks about putting the money together to actually make the move. The 8 of Cups talks about walking away from someplace that has left you feeling exhausted or depleted. So I'm going to assume that's where you live now because you want a better place, right? Now, once you move to that better place, we see, this disappointment come up here. So I wanted to know, what is this disappointment about? Well, this disappointment is interesting because it talks about this idea of stability and security, but it also talks about somebody getting on your last nerve and things not working out well with whoever that somebody is. I think you've got either roommates or neighbors, but probably roommates here that are it's not working. These roommates just aren't working, okay? And I think it surprises you. I don't think you expect that. Now, with this Ten of Swords, I think you put an end to that. I'm not sure if you're booting those roommates or if you're moving to some place and leaving them behind, but you're putting an end to the misery that comes up and the disappointment that comes up from these roommates or these neighbors not working out. And with my Three of Pentacles, I think what's happening is you have no roommates after you end this. Whether you show them to the door, or whether you move to your own place, I think you have no roommates after you put an end to the disappointment that comes from how they are kind of bootholes. I think you like the idea of having roommates because it brings some financial stability. But I think you find that not those roommates. No, thank you. Not worth it. You're quite welcome. Maria, hello, hello, Scorpio 92. Welcome, welcome. Glad to see you here. Actually, what time is it? It's actually time for me to get out of here. I've got somebody coming over in a few minutes, so I'm not able to do one more question. But those of you who enjoyed this type of format, please go ahead and subscribe to me and hit that notification bell so you'll know the next time that I go live or the next time that I upload something. And catch me next time, because I like to either do a message from Spirit or answer one specific question. Also, obviously, if you can't wait and you want to have a reading right now, there's my website right up there at the top of this screen. All you have to do is go there. All my contact information is there. All the information about the different styles of readings I do are there. If you have any questions or if you want a book, all you have to do is reach out to me. My phone number's there. You can call me or text me, either one. Doesn't matter to me. And so, yeah, that's how you can find out all about me. Also, if you want my predictions for every week, then you want to sign up for my newsletter at my website, and that will give you my weekly predictions. And also, people who sign up for my newsletter get a 40% discount during their birthday season on a live reading. So totally worth it to sign up for the newsletter. Check out all the things I'm into. You might be surprised. Happy New Year's to everyone. Peace out.